everyone. Today we have Dipanshi D with us. She is an upcoming SDE at Oracle. So today's video will give us a roadmap on how to grab such an amazing placement and that too with great CGPA. So let's start this video with your introduction, D.
Thank you, Pasna, and hi everyone. I am Dipanshi, and I will be completing my Bachelor's of Technology in Electronics and Communication from Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women this month only. And from July, I will be joining Oracle as a software development engineer. So last year, I interned at Oracle as a summer intern, following which I received a pre-placement offer from there.
Congratulations, D. So
Thank you so much.
coming to your coding journey, like how you manage coding versus college and what about your CGPA secret?
Okay. So for coding journey, I didn't started pretty much coding during the first year. I started it from the second year only. So like I was from the COVID batch. So we got admitted very late. We got admitted during December. So we had to complete our first two semesters in 7 months only. So there you can focus on mostly people were focusing on their academics only. So during the first year, I will suggest that you should try to score as much CGPA as possible because the syllabus of the first year is easier comparatively to the next years. And we have a subject of programming in C, so you basically got an overview of what are the basics of coding, etc. So from there only, after first year, I decided that rather than focusing on codes since I'm on from electronics, I will shift my focus on coding and try to get placement in software domain only. So after first year, since you get to know from seniors that what are the basic things that you have to prepare to crack an internship or a placement. So there are 4 or 5 basic things. Like the first most important is your data structure and algorithm. Second is you have to create some projects. Not so many projects, but I will say that at least two decent projects you should make. And after that, you have to prepare your core CS subjects like OOPS, DBMS, computer networking, etc. So during my second year, I started with creating projects so that if you create your projects during second and third year, so you will be less burdened during your placement season. So during the second year, I majorly created my projects, and most of them are team projects. I created them in a team of 2 or 3 people, mostly. And along with that, you start preparing for your data structure and algorithms. Since at least it takes 4 months or 5 months to get a grip on fundamentals of data structures and algorithms. For data structure and algorithms, you can go for a paid course like some Coding Ninja or Coding Blocks, etc. Or there are so many resources available on YouTube. So for me personally, I focus on YouTube playlists. So you can go for different topics. You can explore different playlists like Love Bubbles, Drivers, etc. So first you should start with videos and understanding the basic concepts like arrays, linked lists, trees, etc. But along with that, you have to so that you can master and basically have a grip on that concept. So you should start practicing on lead code also. So you should start with easy and medium level questions only. Don't go to hard level when you are starting. So for lead code, like you have watched an array video, array topics videos, then related to that video, start practicing your lead code questions. So, but one tip I will give that don't get stuck on a topic. Like arrays is a very vast topic. So you shouldn't like stuck on that for 2 months. You should move on and start going on. So if you have covered like 200 to 50 problems on lead code and you think that you already very greatly know all the concepts of data structures, so then you can shift to code forces, code chef, etc. Code forces basically will help you to improve your problem solving skills, to improve your speed. So maybe in some companies like in dream companies, Google and etc., your speed matters very much. Mostly companies it will be fine, but if you are targeting for the FANG and etc., so your speed will matter. So you will have to give contest for that practice. So in second year, I will say if you have done basic lead code for of 250 problems around, or 200 250 problems, with basically understanding them very goodly, so you will be able to go through the internship season. For placements, the expectations from you will be a little much higher. I will say a little much higher in coding. And during the internship season, if you don't know computer networking and you know OOPS, DBMS, etc., so it's fine. But during your placement, since you have completed 3 years, they will expect you to know. So coming to the CS core subjects. So what are the core subjects that you have to prepare? First comes your object-oriented programming. So I covered that with my curriculum only. It was in my third or fourth semester, and similarly for DBMS, I covered that in curriculum only. So basically, curriculum is enough, but you can practice questions alongside, so you get a better understanding. And computer networking also you can do. For placements, you will have to cover operating system, computer networking, object-oriented programming, and DBMS. And for some companies, very big companies like Uber, etc., there is an additional system design thing. So for that, you will have to prepare system design also. For questions, for these core subject questions also, you can take help from, there are many roadmaps available on internet, so you can take help from there. For lead code also you can follow some sheets like Striver sheets. So coming to the CGPA point and how to maintain it, I will suggest, since during your first year you are not that much invested in coding, etc. So try to score as much CGPA as possible during your first year. During second year, I will say during third semester you should focus on CGPA. And one most important tip to score high CGPA in college, that you divide subjects in your group. Suppose there are four subjects, you divide it in four students, so that one student prepare one subject and then teach it to her friends, like three other friends, or it reduces workload. So that was helping each other is a very important thing in college. And CGPA, for CGPA, it's fine if you drop if you have scored a good CGPA in the previous semester, then it's fine that while you are preparing for internship or placement season, then if the CGPA goes down a little bit, your aggregate will be fine. So you will have to manage it like that. So score good in some semesters, so that if you drop a little CGPA, it won't affect your aggregate CGPA. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, the next coming to your internship experience, like आप कहीं बाहर गए थे क्या, बैंगलोर या हैदराबाद, और आपका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा था?
For my internship experience, it was remote. For मतलब मेरे साल remote थी, इस साल बैंगलोर जाएंगे बच्चे. लेकिन मतलब but the work culture, the environment, and the project provided to me, that was all. Everything was same. There also you have to attend calls and connect with everyone, etc. So during it was an 8 week internship. So first week you will be doing the onboarding task. You will be setting up the environments and tools you will be using throughout your internship. And then you will be assigned a mentor, or in some companies, both a mentor and buddy will be assigned to you. So they will help you through the technical difficulties and all the difficulties and doubts you will have. So it's not like during the internship they will expect you to know everything and all from the starting day. uh, they basically assess you on your zeal to learn, your innovative ideas and approaches, and your communication skills, etc. So yes, communication is important. Communication in the sense that whatever that if a problem is given to you, what are your ideas? You will have to communicate to it to your mentor and buddies, etc. How to approach things, yeah, or what have you done on a particular day. You should maintain a record of that, or you should report it to your mentor or manager, whatever. So then you will be given 1 2 weeks to understand the tools, internal tools of the companies that you will be using during your internships. Or maybe if you are like have to work on some new technology, so you will be given provided with some videos or some sources to learn from there. And then they basically either allocate you one project or most two projects. So, and after the completion of that, after you have created your project, there will be a final presentation. It basically happens on your second last day or third last day or something like that. So in that presentation, you basically covers what you have done during your internship course, etc. So that was basically the internship journey of everyone and for me also.
Okay, Dee. So next coming to resume wala part, how you made your resume and what are the tips from your side for the juniors to make the resume?
Okay. So, for a good resume, the most important point is that it should be well formatted, neat, and it should be one page only, not more than that. And it should not have some extra, too much information in this. So the things that will, so basically a resume contains 4 5 sections. The first is your education section, where you will mention that you are doing BTech or whatever, in which branch, from which college, and what is your CGPA. And after that, if you want, you can mention your 12th education and percentage, etc. If you maybe you can add it or you can skip it. It's on your choice. I will suggest that don't add 10th, uh, your 10th education and all, because it will take space and it's not of any significance that much. And after that, your experience section comes. For intern people, mostly people don't have experience till that time. And for the people sitting in placements, you will be doing some internships. If you haven't done, then also it's fine. It is not like it will impact your selection or anything. But yes, it will highlight your resume if you have a experience. The experience can include if you have done any internship, any mentorship program like Flipkart Grid and all, anything like that. So, and after that comes your project section. So project section, according to me, should include at least two projects, two decent projects. And what will make you highlight that section is if the projects are hosted live. So if they are hosted live, the interviewer can click and see what you have done or presented. And second thing, you can mention that if you have created it in team, then you can mention a little summary that it is created in a team of four and what is the purpose of that project, but keep it very short. And second thing, then you can add an achievement section if you have won any hackathon, etc., or any cloud challenge or some challenge, etc. That also highlights your resume. Then comes your extracurricular and position of responsibility section. So I will suggest join societies during your first and second year more, because you will be busy in your third year for internships, placements, and all. So for the HR rounds, they will help you to cover some 20 minutes and all for that. So during the HR round, your position of responsibility, you should know what you have done during that role, how you have created an impact, etc. So basically, the main things I think highlight a resume is if some good projects, well-hosted projects, live-hosted projects are created, and if some projects that are like deployed and used by users in reality, like you have created a website or app that is being used by students in your college, etc. That is also a very good project. And experience also highlights your resume and your achievements. Or you can also mention your lead code profile. You can also provide link for that, because if you have like won so many contests on that, your code forces profile and all, you have solved so many problems on that, so that will also create an impact. So for resume, that's all.
Okay, Dee. Next coming to OA pattern, basically for Oracle. Like during the intern period, what was the pattern? Was there any like only DSA based or MCQ, aptitude, quant?
So for Oracle online assessment test, there were two coding questions and 4 5 MCQs and one SQL query question. So SQL query question was basic. You have given a table. You have to, some conditions are given and you have to write a query. So that was, since Oracle is a database company, it will ask SQL in interviews and in tests also. And for coding question, one coding question was on hash maps. So basically, that was a medium level question. So you can, if you have done lead code and you have a grip on basics, then you will be able to solve that. Second question was you are provided with everything, with all the necessary conditions from where you have to call an API. So basically, in that question, you have to write a code that was only a 3-4 line code, but you have to call an API in that. So since I have worked on a project where I have implemented API, I was able to solve that. MCQs were basic, like tree traversal MCQ was there. Some oops MCQs were there. Only 4 5 MCQs were there that were easy to medium level only. So that was online assessment pattern for Oracle.
Okay, Dee. Next, coming to your interview experience. Like in the Oracle, as you mentioned, SQL is generally asked. So, what are the tips from your side for the juniors to crack this company?
Okay. So in Oracle, there were 3 rounds, 2 technical rounds, and the last round was an HR round. So the first, as I remember, the first round was of 1 hour. So basically, she asked me to introduce myself. Then she introduced herself. Then she asked me about the core subjects which I have grip on. So I told her that I know OOPS, DBMS, and computer networking. So she started asking from there only. She didn't went to OS because I didn't mention OS. I haven't covered that till that time also. So basically, she started with OOPS. OOPS is a very basic thing you will use throughout your corporate life also, because it helps you to write a more cleaner and reusable code. So only verbal questions she asked there. So it was like a rapid fire round where she asked short questions like encapsulation, what is encapsulation, etc. Very basic questions. And then she moved to DBMS. In DBMS, she asked verbal questions like on joins, inner join, left join, right join, etc. And some basic queries. She didn't ask me to write them. She asked verbally only. After that, there was about half an hour or 25 minutes left. Then she asked me to code two DSA questions, and they were easy to medium level DSA questions only. One was on tree, that was a simple tree traversal question, and one was on strings that you can perform through recursion. So so it's fine. I have given the interview in online mode, but mostly interviews are conducted in offline mode now. So one advantage you have in offline mode is that on when you write code on pen paper, you don't have to run test cases. In online, you will have to run test cases also. But it's fine if she is satisfied with your approach, your code writing. If even if the some test cases don't run, it's fine. So then comes the second round. So in the second round, just when I entered the round, the interviewer gave me a link of a hacker rank, and it was a word problem. So in 1 hour, I had to solve that one problem only. That was basically like a word problem that you encounter during code forces, etc. So it was a word problem where you basically have to firstly understand the meaning, what are the requirements, understand the conditions, and then you have to implement it. So it's not like the interviewers aren't helpful. They help you very much throughout your interview. So if I was writing if I was getting stuck at some condition, so he gave me hints. It wasn't like that. So I was able to code that question. I was able to run 19 test cases out of 21. So I got through that round also. After that, there was a HR round. In HR round, basically, he asked me to explain my resume, that from top to bottom, explain all your whatever mentioned in your resume. And then after I explained my resume thoroughly, then he started cross questioning, like what have you done in that position of responsibility, etc. So, and one tip I will give, that don't lie on your resume. Don't mention any skill that you don't know, because if from resume cross questioning always happen. Maybe it will happen in your first round, maybe it will happen in your HR round. So that was the interview experience.
The last thing, पीपीओ के लिए क्या टिप्स होंगी आपकी तरफ से?
Okay. So PPO के लिए 3 मेन पॉइंट्स हैं. पहला है communication. So you will have to communicate, at least build some connection, that all the people in your team knows that there is an intern and he or she is working on some project, on whichever project. And you will have to communicate whatever you are doing on a particular day. Every day report to your mentor or manager that what have you done today, etc. And you will have to communicate what are your approaches to solve that. Then they will help you also, so you will be able to smoothly carry out your project. So first is communication, that you will have to communicate. And second is that prepare a word doc or something. So basically after your internship experience, like on the second last day or the third last day, a presentation happens where you have to present a PPT on what have you done through your, what have you insights gained, what have you created in your 8-week internship in front of the whole team. So to create that PPT, you may forgot what you have done initially, etc. So it will, that word doc will help you a lot if you always on a daily basis write what you done today, what have you done today, what are your doubts came today, how what are the who helped you, how they helped you, etc. And also maintain a separate doc of you get stuck at a certain thing and you ask for help from someone. He gave you like how to carry out this, like some Linux commands, etc. So always write that down, because maybe after 2 weeks you will get stuck at that doubt again, and you may forgot how they have helped you. So it will be a little to ask again, मतलब दोबारा पूछने में थोड़ा वो हो जाएगा. So always maintain everything written so that it will help you during your last week. So because your PPT also creates an impact on your PPO getting scenario. So and for our main tip is for the students who have got internship and their third year is going on, you should keep preparing, because you don't know what will be the market scenario when you will start your internship. So you should always keep preparing. You shouldn't be like that I have secured an internship and I will get a PPO. So, and for TPO, basically, these only things: communication, your final presentation. For that, maintain a doc and build some connections, because connections also will impact your chances of getting a PPO. And eventually, people getting a PPO also depends on market scenario. Maybe the company is cost cutting, then it is not your fault. Take it lightly only. And yeah, if you have if they will see that you have done a great job, they will provide you with a
Okay, Ji, this was from my side.